If you watch TV, you can't help but see several commercials pertaining to alcohol. They always make alcohol look like some social event that everybody's having a great time, and that's what alcohol is about every time. Let's examine alcohol. First of all, if we looked at it, if we had to define it, these are the five things we'd say about it. It is a food because it is made of some form of plant sugar, whether it be a fruit or a vegetable or grain. It does have a very few nutrients in it because most of them are lost during processing. Extremely high in calories. Since it's high in calories, few nutrients, we call it an empty food. It's a psychoactive drug. It will depress the activity of the nerve cells, causing you not to be able to think rationally or lose some of your motor skills. And it does kill brain cells, so permanently. It's made of ethyl alcohol. This is a type of alcohol that your liver can break down and get rid of afterwards. So therefore, it's the only form of alcohol that you can consume. Alcohol is made by a process called fermentation. This is where we take some type of plant sugar, whether it be a grain, hops, barley, a fruit, a vegetable of some kind, and we add yeast in with it, and then we cut the oxygen off of it, heat it up, let it react, and then the yeast will break down those plant sugars, and the waste material that it gives off is actually the ethyl alcohol and causes CO2 to be produced. So, based on the type of plant sugar we're using, will mean the type of alcohol it is. And sometimes they'll mix different plant sugars together, and sometimes they'll put additives with it, and that'll change the type of alcohol it is. They might actually use caramel or something of this nature. Proof and percentage of alcohol, of course, if it says it's whatever its proof is, you divide that by 2, and that will give you the percent of alcohol by volume. Basically, what that's saying is that if it says it is 60 proof, then 30% of that bottle will actually be alcohol. The rest of it will be some other substance, some other form of liquid in it. So as you see down below it here, Everclear says it is 190 proof. So therefore, if we divided it by 2, that would be 95% of the liquid in that bottle is ethyl alcohol. And as you notice on this bottle, it says it is extremely flammable. Let's look at the process in which alcohol leaves your body. Initially, right off the bat, 5% of the ethyl alcohol that you ingest is going to leave through your lungs. It's as fumes, and it's going to be able to get a little bit of it in your system initially, and it'll sweat out, or you'll get rid of it with urine. But 95% of it is going to go into your liver. It goes through your digestive tract, absorbed by your liver, held there, and oxidation occurs in your liver where your liver changes it. And one of the things that changes is acetic acid, CO2, and H2O. Obviously, this acetic acid, you need to get rid of that through your urine, of course, and it requires a lot of water to go ahead and dilute the acetic acid so your body can handle it to get rid of it. Therefore, you will dehydrate yourself as you're breaking this alcohol down. Your liver can only handle so much alcohol at a time. Remember, it can become saturated, and therefore, your blood alcohol level is going to rise over a period of time. We can get rid of about, as you see here, about 0.015 of alcohol concentration every hour. That really is equal to a normal glass of beer, one single shot of heavy liquor such as whiskey, and one glass of wine per hour is about what you get rid of. Your body does, your liver. Now, after you've saturated it over a period of time, you might slow that down. If you look at some of the how alcohol affects your body, we can look at these. Of course, the brain. We do know that it is like a drug, and it actually slows down nerve function. So everything associated with your nerves will slow down, can actually cause you to black out and even cause death. Your heart, of course, it's going to cause your blood pressure to rise. Your heart rate's going to increase, but yet you'll feel more tired. And over a period of time, you constantly abuse alcohol, you can have an enlarged heart. A stomach, of course, you're putting something in your stomach that your body has to digest. It's going to keep throwing acid at it to break it down. If you drink too much, of course, your body will try to get rid of it, will vomit to get rid of the toxicity once your blood alcohol level gets up. And of course, all this constantly producing acids can cause ulcers, and of course, alcohol itself can cause cancer. Liver damage, of course, you can damage the cells inside the liver, and any damage you do over a period of time to that via cirrhosis is permanent. It can't heal itself there. So usually they'll find hard spots underneath there, or they'll find spots on an X-ray to show whether or not you have liver damage. And it can affect your reproductive system. It decreases actually the hormone production. It increases blood flow there, and may have more trouble actually getting pregnant. Also, it during this time drinking course, it increases your risk of having anyone sexually assault you because you can't protect yourself, or you making bad choices and having unsafe sex. Blood alcohol volume, of course, you never should drink and drive, but if someone drinks and drives, the first thing they're going to check is their blood alcohol volume. We call that your BAC, your blood alcohol concentration. How they're going to check that, they can give you a sobriety test initially, and then they could also have you blow in through a breathalyzer. There is a website here at the bottom. You could type that in and go there, and it can kind of give you a rough figure of what your blood alcohol concentration will be based on your weight, what you've drank, the percent of alcohol there is, and all that. So but don't drive to start with if you've been drinking. If we looked at this in the blood alcohol concentration, 0.08 is driving under the influence. So if you get caught at 0.08, you're in trouble for a DUI. If you're below 21, we have zero tolerance for that. You can't have any alcohol in your system whatsoever. Keep in mind that you could check. Let's say you have a breathalyzer, or one of your friends do it at a bar, and you check and blow into it, and you blow 0.06. Why? By the standards, you are not illegal to drive. But the moment you get in that vehicle, some of the alcohol you have stored in your digestive tract that could be soaked up in something you ate, or could just be sitting there, will continue to absorb into your bloodstream, and then your blood alcohol level can go above 0.08, even though when you took off you hadn't been drinking anymore. You were originally 0.06. So that's something to keep in mind. What influences your blood alcohol concentration? Of course, how fast did you consume it? If you drunk it real fast, of course, your liver can only get rid of, we talked again, 1 drink per hour. So the faster you consume it, the more you're going to saturate it, the more chances you have your BAC rising. The rate of oxidation can also affect this. Some people are bigger than others. They have larger livers. The bigger the liver, the more alcohol and more chances, and healthy the liver is, the better the oxidation rate will be. Also, there's a rate of absorption. Sometimes people will have a bunch of bread or something like this, their meal, and a lot of the alcohol will be absorbed up in the food itself, and therefore initially they're not going to feel the effects of alcohol until they start breaking down that food. Also, the amount consumed. How much did you consume of it initially? That's going to affect you. And then tolerance. Some people will build up a tolerance to alcohol. They'll get their liver to where it really is really good at getting rid of alcohol, but after a period of time they'll start to damage their liver, and then will have reverse tolerance. Then they can't drink hardly anything at all, and then immediately their BAC bounces up because their liver's not healthy. We also have your physical condition. The better healthy you are, the more of an athlete you are, all these things, younger you are, your liver's just going to function better. And then we have mood and setting. Obviously, if you're thinking in your mind that I'm going to get drunk, I want to get drunk, let's party, all this kind of stuff. Even psychologically within your brain, you can slow down your metabolism of alcohol within your liver a little. Just like we could think and think relaxing thoughts here, and we could slowly slow down our heart rate a little bit. Or we could be all frightened and scared and constantly think about something else and speed it up. Females have a lower level of an enzyme in their liver that helps break down alcohol, so therefore their blood alcohol concentration will be a little higher than men if they consume the same amount. Also, your weight will have a lot to do with it. Of course, the more volume of blood, the more volume of water you have in your body, the more alcohol can be distributed throughout, and your concentration will therefore be lower. Ways alcohol affects driving ability. God forbid you look at these pictures, they look awful scary to me overall. Keep in mind, if you drink and drive and you get caught, you're going to be handcuffed and put in the squad car. And you should be, because we don't want any of these things to happen to you or you to do any of these things to someone else under the influence. Alcohol alters your mood. It makes you think you're Superman or you can do something that you wouldn't normally do. It affects your judgment. You might decide you're going to race someone, or you decide you can answer that text while driving, and and you normally wouldn't do it that long. It affects your coordination. Obviously, that's why you're going to take a sobriety test if you get pulled over by a police officer. Coordination will definitely affect your ability to handle the wheel. It affects your reaction time. How quick can you react if something comes out in front of you? Um, it'll be slowed down. Your concentration will be affected. Can you focus on the road, or are you able to your brain to continue to working, thinking what's important ahead of you? Your depth perception. Everything appears to be a little farther than it is, and that's why people spill their beers at parties. They think the beer is a little farther than it is, and they don't grasp their hand around it. And when they've been drinking too much, and they'll knock it over. It also affects your ability to stay awake. It will make you tired. It is a depressant, and you could fall asleep at the wheel. God forbid any of those things happen. A lot of people think they're still good drivers when they're under the influence. If a deer would run out in front of someone who wasn't under the influence, sometimes they could react and avoid hitting the deer, yet stay on the road for their own safety. But if a deer runs out in front of you, you've been drinking, you may react the wrong way, roll the car, and you're going to hit the deer. All these things. Driving, you never know what's going to happen at any point in time on the road, and you need to be ready for anything. And God forbid, if you drive under the influence, you put someone else's life at risk out there. What if it's another mother with her little kid, or anything under the sun? Use your head. If you're going to drink, stay where you're at. Don't drive.